My name's Nick Lewis. I'm one of the co-founders of Cookaborough, and today I'm going to take you through some recent updates that we've been working on for a little while now, and share my screen and show you some of the things that we've got coming. Some of them are going live today, some of them will be going live next week, and then also give you a little bit of an insight into what's next in terms of the product development for Cookaborough. So hopefully last week, I think it was on Friday, we sent out an email to everyone giving a bit of an update as to what is happening at Cookaborough from a product point of view. We were talking there about a new brand experience. So there's two major updates that we will go through today that were detailed in that email. The first one is we've spent a considerable amount of time over the last few months, the development team and the design team, looking at the customer experience. So this is talking about your customers and the experience that they have when they're on your menu, whether that's on desktop or mobile, and the experience of looking at a menu, choosing items, navigating your menu, putting things into a basket and checking out. So we've spent a fair bit of time working on that, and that'll be pushed live today. If you haven't seen the email, and if you can't find the email we sent on Friday, maybe just check that it hasn't gone into your junk or spam box. But in that email, you'll see some of what I'm talking about today. A few things on that, and I'm going to share my screen in a moment, but a couple of things you won't see on my screen that are worthy of noting. Your customers previously could only pay by entering their credit card details or using their saved credit card details. We've introduced two new payment options into the system. So customers now can use Apple Pay and Google Pay alongside their credit cards. And so that'll be going live today. And we're also investigating, also bringing in PayPal as another payment option. So we'll provide updates on that later on. But for now, just to note that customers can pay via Apple and Google Pay as well as via credit card. I'm going to share my screen now and show you what the new customer experience looks like, and we'll just walk through this. So hopefully now everyone can see my screen. It is, just pour this up here. Hopefully what you're seeing here is one of the businesses that uses Cookaborough by the name of For the Love of Food. It's run by Ali. Some of you will know Ali. She also does a few days a week, or more than a few days a week, 4 days a week at Cookaborough, but she also runs a ready-made meals business on Cookaborough. So you'll see here, this is Ali's menu, showing what it looks like. I've set this up so that you're looking at it as a mobile version. And what you'll see here, I think the first thing I'd like to show you is the presentation of a meal tile has changed. We've updated it to make it, I think, more visually appealing and also to make it more useful in the information that is showcased. So first thing to notice is the dietary icons down here. And I'm going to go back to Ali's dashboard and show how this is implemented at the recipe level. But you've now got the ability to showcase or to inform your customers if an item has certain dietaries associated with it. So here you can see dairy-free, gluten-free and vegetarian, and you're in control of allocating those to each item. The other thing you'll see here that we're showing now is we're giving an indication of the size option. So you'll see here that the Thai roasted carrot and peanut soup is available in a small for $16 and a medium for $30. So that's the first thing to note. The other thing to note here also is you'll see up here, dip starters. I can also click on these section headers and scroll across. And very quickly, as a customer, I'm able to navigate myself through Ali's menu to get to the sections that perhaps I'm most interested in. And if I am just scrolling, what will happen is as each section comes into the main frame, the navigation bar at the top will indicate where I am. So this will then slip across to sides, and then it will slip across to breads. That's the first thing just to take note of. If I choose one of these to have a look at, we'll go into the jackfruit. You'll see there, this is what the expanded view looks like. with the description sitting here with a character count limit. If you go over the character count in your description, customers can click read more to see more. The reason we've done that is we wanted to ensure on a mobile device that your customers don't have to scroll too far to get to the important action of adding items to their basket. And then we repeat the icons for dietaries, and then we've got the ingredients listed below. So if I now just I'm going to show you, I'm going to bring up Ali's recipes, and we're going to show how to go about the process of putting dietaries into a recipe. So I'm trusting that you can now see Ali's recipe page. You'll see here, earlier on I created mixed vegetarian lasagna. I'm going to click into that. And you would all be familiar, nothing's changed in terms of how you go about creating a recipe. But if you scroll down here, you'll see a section introducing dietaries. This is where you are able to, in each recipe, allocate certain dietaries. So in this case, I'll just go back up the top, you'll see that it's mixed vegetarian lasagna and it's gluten-free. So for this example, I'm going to choose that it's gluten-free, and I'm going to choose that it's vegetarian. So now when I save this as a recipe, it will then show on the recipe, on the menu, I should say, as being vegetarian and gluten-free. So obviously, for those of you who have been on the platform for a while and already have a significant number of recipes entered, you'll need to work back through your recipes and allocate the dietaries that are relevant to each recipe. That might be something that you do on a week-by-week basis as you're building your weekly menu, or obviously you can do it as a project all in one time. The other part that you will see when you're looking at recipes, when this goes live today, is we have a new feature called Goes Well With. This was based on some research groups that we did with some of you, and just talking about improvements to the platform. And one of the things that was requested was the ability for when a customer is choosing an item on your menu, for you to be able to show them other items on that menu that this particular item would go well with. So there's two parts to this. The first part will be released today, and that is in your recipes, you will be able to start allocating items that go well with a menu item. So to give you an example here, I'm going to link this lasagna with 3 different items, and you'll see here that you've got a maximum of 3 items. I'm going to link it with a colourful coleslaw. I'm going to link it with a garlic. Let's see here, the garlic cheese and spinach. Add that, and I'm also going to add a dessert, tiramisu. So what I've done there, I've created an association between the lasagna and these 3 items. And I can change the order by clicking and dragging here. And what this means is that when a customer is on my menu and they are looking at the lasagna, they are going to see that the lasagna goes well with these 3 items. And they can very easily add each one of these items to their order. So the intention here, it's a great way for you to encourage or incentivize your customers to add additional items to their order. So at this point in time, we've built the functionality that will allow you to start creating these connections between recipes and other recipes. The customer-facing side, so the ability for your customers to actually see this, is another week away from being, or a week or so away from being launched. So in this period, we would encourage you to work back through your recipes at the same time that you're doing your dietaries. We suggest and recommend that you start to identify that goes well with and making those associations. And then in a couple of weeks at the latest, we will notify you via email and let you know that we are soon to turn on the function on the customer side of it. So that's the first part that we wanted to share with you. The other thing that I would also like to share with you is that we are about to launch what we call a Find a Cook feature. So if you give me a moment here, I'm just going to close these. Now, Find a Cook is, the intention here is we're very mindful that Cookaborough is a solution that provides, I guess, a back-end solution and software that helps you run your ready-made meals business. So everything we've done to date really has been about making it easier for you to manage the administration side of your business, receive orders, receive payments, build menus, etc. But we're also very mindful that for many of you, our ability to bring you a customer is also something that would significantly improve our value to you as a business and help you grow your business. So with that in mind, in the next week, we will be launching, or next 1 to 2 weeks, we will be launching the Find a Cook feature. And so what that means is that instead of just being a proposition for businesses like yourselves, Cookaborough will also become a destination for people or hungry households who are looking for local food businesses that they can connect with and order meals from. So if you think about it, at the moment, when you go to cookaborough.com, it's very much what we call a B2B proposition. It's us talking to food businesses. That will change, and what will happen is we will start to be more of a consumer-facing proposition. So I'm sharing here my screen. This is a mock-up that's being built at the moment, so it's not quite final. But you'll see here is that we will be promoting Cookaborough as a place for people to come, and they'll be able to enter their address here. And in time, just a postcode or a suburb. But initially, it'll be entering an address. When they enter an address there, we will then be able to display all the businesses that are using Cookaborough that are servicing this address, either with deliveries or pickup. So this is something that you as a business have the option to participate in or not to participate in. We know that, and through the conversations, most businesses will choose to participate in this, and this will be a new way that we can bring you customers. There are some businesses that we know do not want to participate in this, and just to give context to that, it's typically a business that might already be at capacity. So it might be a home-cooked, a home-based business where kitchen space, storage space, refrigeration space, etc., has a capacity constraint, and that business is already operating at that capacity. So if you are one of those businesses and match that profile, you do not need to be visible on the Find a Cook profile. For most other businesses, so for the catering companies that are using our software, for the local food stores, for those businesses working out of sort of commercial kitchens and ghost kitchens, this is most likely a feature that you will want to participate in. So the way, in order to prepare for that, and I'm going to, again, excuse the sort of switching and changing, I'm going to bring up Ali's screen again. The way to prepare for this is in your settings. So over here on the left-hand navigation panel, I've clicked on settings. You are able to go into your kitchen page, and when we scroll down here, actually I'll come back to this. This is also something I'll talk about, the secondary colour. When you scroll down to advanced settings, in advanced settings, you've got the option here to join Find a Marketplace. So if you turn that off, you will not be visible on the marketplace. And that way you will only be visible to your customers who receive your weekly email or to customers who you provide your sign-up link to. So you're very much in control of who your customers are and whether you grow your customer base. But by clicking this, you are immediately going to be visible on the Find a Cook Marketplace. What you are required to do here is to write a short description. I don't mean to cause confusion, but at the moment you'll see here it says 249 characters remaining. We're putting a 100 character limit on this. So when we push this live, it won't say 300 characters, it'll say 100 characters. We're keeping it deliberately short. That is so that on the marketplace, where we're showing all the different options, it's a very short description about who you are and what you offer. In the email that went out last week, we provide some guidelines and some hints and some tips on how to use your 100 characters. It's definitely a challenge to say what you want to say in 100 characters, but if you refer to the email, you'll see some good little tips there. So for example, you don't need to refer to the name of your business in your description because the name of your business will be showing on the tile already. So very quick, short description. So in Ali's case, wholesome, nutritious, real food made from scratch. That's all that needs to be said. You'll load up your Find a Cook image, and then you've got the ability to preview the Find a Cook tile and how that's going to appear on the Cookaborough marketplace when it goes live. So again, we would encourage everyone over the next couple of weeks, over the next week to go into settings, scroll down to advanced settings, see whether you are visible on the Join Find a Cook marketplace. If you do want to be visible, make sure you've clicked that, write your description, upload your image, and then when it goes live next week, you will be visible. Now, when a customer comes to the marketplace and they are looking at the different businesses in their area that service their area, they will be able to click on it and they will go through to your menu. If you've got a menu open at that point in time, they'll be able to make an order. If you don't have a menu open at that point in time, they will land on your About page, they'll be able to read about you, and they'll be able to connect with you. It's important to note here that our intention is not that people keep coming back to our marketplace to find you and to order from you. The idea here is that hungry households come to the marketplace, they find the businesses they like the look of that are meeting their expectations. They might be looking for a cook that's doing vegan, vegetarian, they might be looking for someone that's a home cook versus a food store. But the intention here is that they will discover the businesses that meet their requirements, and then they connect with you. And when they connect with you, at that point in time, they become a customer on your database, and then thereafter, each week, or whatever your cycle is, for most of you it's a weekly cycle, each week when you post your menu, that customer will now be receiving your menus directly from you as a customer of your business. So that's a couple of exciting developments. So again, just to recap, a new look experience for your menus with improved navigation, the inclusion of dietaries. As I said, those features will be pushed live today. So immediately after this call, you'll be able to start making those associations with the dietaries. You'll be able to start doing the Goes Well With, but the Goes Well With will not be visible to your customers for at least another week. And as I said, we'll provide you an update on when that's going live. And then likewise, you're able to go into your settings and start to build out your Find a Cook and make sure that you present the way you want to present on the Find a Cook. Another thing I did mean to mention is, if I just scroll back up here, previously what you've had is the opportunity to choose one brand colour, and this is a primary brand colour. We've introduced the ability to have a secondary colour, and you'll see here you get to choose from a colour palette of, I think, what is that? That looks like it's about 15 different colours. Where this appears, and again, I'm now going to pull up a version. Where this appears on the desktop version of a Cook's page, it's this colour here. So you'll see the primary colour for Ali was this, I'm not sure what you'd call that colour, but you'll see here it appears on the underline and in some of the highlights in these sections here. And then the secondary colour is appearing in the banner up here on the left-hand side. So again, please, if you haven't already selected your background colour, your secondary colour, please go through and select that when you have a moment. Okay, I'm going to stop sharing my screen. I'll bring myself back to it. So I'm just going to have a look here. I think we've got a couple of questions. I've got a question here just to clarify that it doesn't currently exist and currently have the option to be on the, yes, okay, so I think I've addressed that one, that you do not have to appear on the marketplace. It's an option, as we talked about. And I think the other questions have all been answered. So please, as I said, if you have just joined the call, I did say up front, if you do have a question, down the bottom, there's a little Q&A icon. If you click on that, you can write your question and I'll come back to it. The other thing I wanted to talk about was just in terms of sort of our process for product roadmap. So as a business building a product, we have what's called a product roadmap. Product roadmap is features and functions that we are going to work on and that our developers and designers will be focusing on. So the last couple of months, we've put a lot of time and energy and effort into the new customer experience. It's quite comprehensive in terms of sort of what's under the hood and making sure everything operates smoothly. So I guess a quick shout out to the developers at Cookaborough and the designers who have done a phenomenal job getting everything together. What it means is as this body of work goes live, we are then going to start to focus on the next tasks and features and functions on our product roadmap. The product roadmap, it's a constant process of reprioritization. And what I mean by reprioritization, we spend a lot of time talking to different business owners to understand what are the features and functions that are most important to you, what are the features and functions that are going to help you grow or solve a pain point. And obviously different people have different views on what those features and functions are. So we are spending as much time as we can having discussions and dialogues to really sort of help us go, okay, what's most important? What should we be focusing on next? So if you participate in those conversations, that's great. You've had a voice. If you've got things that you would like to see and don't feel that you've had a chance to voice those, please, through help at Cookaborough or through your direct contacts, whether it's with me or whether it's with one of the people in the customer success team or with Lyndon or Larissa or with Ali, please make sure that you're sharing those thoughts and those ideas, because we don't make this stuff up. We really do rely on the business owners using the platform to tell us what they need. So with that, a couple of things that are about to go live that we're working on over the next or have been working on and will continue to work on. I think one of the main ones to shout out is that we are about to launch the ability to do a single print label. So at the moment, when you print a label, you've only got the choice of printing, I think 7 to a page or 14 to a page. I think it's maybe 6 or 8 to a page and 4 to a page. We've had some feedback that there's a lot of waste with doing it that way. A number of businesses are either using handheld single print labels or would like to start using handheld single print labels. So that's devices like Zebra, Dymo, Brother and Hero. So that feature is being built, it's being tested at the moment and will be going live, if all goes well with the testing, in the next couple of days. And again, we'll communicate when that happens. When that does happen, it'll just be when you go into labels, in addition to the existing options, you'll see that there is a new option there. So we're excited to let you know that that's going live. Also, hot on the heels of that, the developers have been working on some improved features and functions in the recipe. And one of those is, we heard loud and clear the need to be able to add an individual ingredient into a recipe multiple times. So at the moment, if you add butter to your recipe, you can only add 1 butter and 1 quantity of butter. Going forward, you'll be able to add an ingredient like butter more than once into a recipe, and you'll be able to include the sections in which that butter might be a component of a recipe. So to make that a little bit clearer, you might have a recipe where there's a base, and in the base you've got butter, and you'll be able to show that the base has butter in it. And then you might also have a section which is the filling, and butter can be shown there. And then you'll be able to put the butter twice, show the metric twice, and then it will flow through to your shopping list, to the recipe card, etc. So the team are working on that. We'll provide an update as to the timing and release of that. The other part of that also is functionality around sub-recipes. So when you create a recipe, you will be able to then allocate that recipe as a sub-recipe to another recipe. So the example that I think is probably best understood there is, if you're doing a lasagna, when you build your lasagna recipe, you don't need to put in the individual ingredients for the bechamel sauce. Instead, you'll be able to add bechamel sauce as a recipe into the lasagna recipe, and that way it'll save you time, it'll be clearer, and it'll flow through to your customer-facing side and also to your labels. Let me just check my notes here and see if there's anything else that I should mention. Yes, a couple of other things on the recipe builder that you'll see soon is the ability to bulk edit, archive recipes, and also change the order of ingredients in a recipe. So again, all of this is based on insights and feedback that we've received from you in those research sessions and just through our sort of day-to-day dialogue with you. Outside of recipes, we're also doing a project which is looking at giving you more control over what your homepage looks like on Cookaborough. So at the moment, your customers essentially land on an about page, or if you've got a recipe, a menu open, they'll land on the menu page. We're going to give you the ability to build out what we call more of a homepage. So think of it more like a website homepage where people can link through to your menu, or if you've got multiple menus open at a point in time. So for example, you might have your weekly menu going, you might have a Father's Day menu going, or the Christmas menu going. Your homepage will show the menus that are open. You'll also have the ability there to pull through your Instagram posts. You might be able to call out if you've got any promotions running. You might be able to showcase a particular menu item in a recipe. So again, just giving you the ability as a business owner to control your presentation and how you look in front of your customers, and to build out that homepage. So that's a significant project. We'll keep you updated on the timing of that. And then related to that also is a project around your menu email. So at the moment in your menu builder, it's a fairly text-based menu email that goes out each week. Again, we've taken feedback that you would like more customization options with that weekly email. So there's a project underway at the moment to look at the design of that, and still to keep it super simple for you. We know that some of you actually don't want more tools and more images and I guess more time building your menus each week and communicating to your customers. But others want that flexibility and control over being able to build out those weekly emails. So again, we'll make sure that when we build these things, we're very mindful of different users, different needs, and creating it in a way that you've got the tools that you need to do it the way you want, and you're not being forced into doing things a certain way. I think that's probably all I've got to say. I'm going to just check and see whether we've got any questions. No additional questions. Oh yeah, we've got a question. So just one question around timing. So just to be clear, timing is that we will push live today, so your customers will see the new interface as of today. That will include the dietaries. And the goes well with is going live in your dashboard to do the associations in the recipes. Customers will not see goes well with on the menu side for at least another week. Okay, so I think any other questions? I'll just give a moment for people to raise a hand or add any questions. I'll come back to that. So yeah, so look, if you do have any questions but don't get a chance to ask them now, please come back directly through your account manager or through help at Cookaborough. One thing we've done in the past, for those of you who have been on the platform for a while, we've done reasonably regular Zoom sessions. Having said that, we haven't done one for quite some time. Our intent going forward is to do these more frequently and also to provide not just product updates, but to also have some sessions where we're focusing on, for example, how to build your customer database and the tools in the platform that will help you build your customer database, but also some resources and tips and ideas of ways to build your customer database off platform. So we'll have sessions such as that. So look out for those. There will be a more regular occurrence going forward. And again, I meant to say up front, welcome to, we've had quite a number of new businesses join the platform in the last few months. So this will be the first time you've seen me and met me. So thank you for I guess, entrusting Cookaborough to help run and manage your business. Again, please reach out, share your feedback. I think overall around Australia now, we've got over 128 businesses using the platform. In terms of the number of using it each week, it varies, but the number's growing, which is great because it gives us more ability to do more things. And also the marketplace, it's a good time for that marketplace to go live. I think we've got over 70% of the Australian marketplace covered in terms of businesses using the platform and geographic coverage. So we're excited by that. So yeah, I'm going to wrap it up there. I think I'm just checking again. We've had another question come through. When will the recipe builder options become available? Really love to write those recipes and add to my recipes. That was a question from Rebecca. So that's going to go live today, Rebecca. Oh, sorry. If you're talking about the new features around sub-ingredients and multiple ingredients, it's a couple of weeks away at least. The team will be focusing on building that over the next couple of weeks. It's quite significant in terms of some of the back-end work. I'll make a note and get back to you specifically, Rebecca, with timings, but also more broadly, we'll update everyone via one of our regular updates. So thank you for your time. Appreciate people tuning in. We'll share the link via an email, if not late today, tomorrow, so you can watch it back. And again, if any questions come up, as you said, about setting up your Find a Cook profile or doing your dietaries or goes well with, please don't hesitate to get in contact with us. Okay. Thank you for your time.